This is the story of a potato who eschews modernity. In a world filled with laser guns, shotguns, submachine guns, and basically every other type of gun that could spring to mind, this individual chooses a weapon of a simpler time, the crossbow. His name is Crossbow McGee, after all. It seems only fitting that this archaic armament would be his preferred mechanism by which to deal out death to his enemies. Crossbow McGee is a hunter, a class heavily reliant on range and critical hits. As such, the crossbow is not only a narrative device for this story, but one of the best weapons around for this specific class. The hunter starts with an additional 100 range and receives 1% additional damage for every 10 points of range. His crit chance upgrades are also increased by 25%, which is not the biggest of deals, but does contribute to his synergy with the crossbow. The downside of this class is that he is quite squishy. All of those range synergies serve to keep his enemies at a safe distance, because if they get too close, a hunter will likely perish. The technical downsides of this class are as follows. Harvesting modifications are reduced by 100%, which is largely irrelevant because harvesting, while powerful in the right build, is something that is only purchased due to necessity. The other drawback of this class is that HP modifications are reduced by 33%. Meaning it is more difficult for Crossbow McGee to get any sort of reasonable health pool. Priority buys are as follows. Range, attack speed, and crit chance for the offensive suite, and dodge with a smattering of armor to round out my defenses. Range is essential because the hunter class makes it a 2-for-1. I can shoot from further away, and thanks to my class abilities, these longer range shots deal more damage. Attack speed serves to ameliorate one of the downsides of the crossbow, its relatively low firing speed. While crossbow hits do penetrate, its crowd damage potential is not great on its own. Attack speed allows me to shoot more bolts and get more kills. Simple as that. Crit chance is pretty self-explanatory. The crossbow only penetrates on crits, so get crit chance to 100, then stop getting it. As mentioned earlier, my health pool is going to be awful. I get dodge chance to hopefully get hit less, and armor to hopefully not get one shot if my dodge chance fails. The first few waves pass without a hitch, but it is in wave 5 that I take my first hit. And what a hit it is. The decreased health modifications also apply to health gained on level up, so during this wave, I'm still only at 10 health. I get hit by one of these little nerds and I'm dropped to half. Wave 6 is less harrowing, and I complete it without suffering any further grievous bodily harm. It's wave 7, also known as egg time. My host of bolts sing their violent song, and but one egg is allowed to hatch. I dispatch its grotesque spawn and move on with the wave. In the shop before wave 8, I buy a tardigrade. This little fella allows me to negate the first hit I take each wave. Pretty handy, seeing as I can only take 2 hits before dying. This upgrade matters not, as I easily dispatch the speedy large lads before they have an opportunity to bull rush me in any meaningful way. The early game behind me, I saunter up to the gateway to the mid-game, waves 9 and 10. In Wave 9, my tardigrade gets popped as I take a hit from one of the lesser enemies. The penetration of my bolts is putting in work, but I'm still not particularly equipped to handle hordes. It is before Wave 10 that I am offered the item that will carry me through the rest of the game, the Giant Belt. With no downside, it makes critical hits deal 10%, 1% for bosses, of an enemy's current health as additional damage. Seeing as I aim to always crit, this item offers a substantial boost to my damage output. I head into Wave 10, eager to test the efficacy of this new item. It does reasonably well, but my attack speed is not yet quite up to snuff, and while I don't get hit, I do cosplay as a corner cuff for a bit, as the hordes of enemies bear down upon me. Nothing of particular import happens in Wave 11, so here it is for the sake of continuity. Wave 12 is the boss wave, and I get the typical first boss jitters. Do I have enough damage to be able to deal with this Chungus? Do I have enough dodge to evade his hits? If I do get hit, do I have enough health to survive? The answer to these questions is yes, yes, and who knows? The strings of my crossbows twang and the bolts speed towards my foe with unflinching lethality. The Chungus corners me while on his last legs, and I dodge the hit before felling the cretin. The first boss drops a diploma. I don't care about the engineering boost, but I'll always take an experience boost. Plus, now Crossbow McGee has something to put on his resume. The experience overfloweth as I purchase a peacock going into Wave 13. The increased damage foretold by this colorful bird is irrelevant as I no-hit Wave 13 and head off to Wave 14 and my next boss. The Chungus I faced this day is the Circle Jerk, one of my least favorite bosses. I burst him down quickly before he moves into Phase 2 and begins circle jerking all over the place. A quick tip to help with this loser: when he spawns a circle, walk in the opposite direction that it travels. It doesn't damage until the balls glow, so you can theoretically get out of it before the damage happens. Another day, another peacock as I head into Wave 15. Thanks to my 2 birds and a degree, I've scaled quite nicely. So I just coast through wave 16 and 17 as I have my sights set on the wave 18 boss. Before the boss, I get an octopus friend and skip out on another tardigrade that I probably should have bought. The cephalopod grants reduced health, but it's too much value to pass up even at the reduced rate. Wave 18 and I face off against Chef Chungus. I circle around him in an attempt to dodge his attacks to mostly success. I get hit by one and pop the tardigrade before he falls. I make my way through the rest of the wave, but catch a stray and my life flashes before my eyes. Even so late in the game, a single hit reduces me to less than half health. Pre-wave 19, I pick up another experience increase and max out my dodge chance before girding my loins for the final 2 waves. Wave 20 and the final Chunguses are here. I do a pretty hefty amount of damage, and their health pool drops at a proportionately hefty rate, but I'm still stuck relying on my dodge chance as I get hit a couple times. One boss falls and the other cowers in fear. I also cower in fear, but I have crossbows. I slay my final foe from nearly across the map and claim victory. So ends the Ballad of Crossbow McGee, a potato of many crossbows. There is some degree of duality in this tale, as it is one of equal parts confidence and cowardice. If there is some lesson to be learned, it is more than likely this. When facing overwhelming odds, get them before they get you.